morning. You're with us here on the Business Today show. I'm Abha Bakaya. We're counting down to market opening. Let's get you all the headlines at this hour. The Trump administration further softens its trade stance on India in a crucial move. The fact sheet released by the White House now says India intends to buy goods worth $500 billion instead of commits. Also removes pulses, a sensitive farmer produce, from the list of agri-goods that India will import from the US. Government cracks down on AI content on the internet, tightens rules to bring synthetically generated information and deepfake content under stricter compliance. Mandates clear labeling, permanent metadata, and faster takedown timelines for online platforms. Profit booking pauses the record run in US stocks. Dow climbs, but tech stocks are in the AI crosshairs once again. Investors dump shares of wealth management companies on fears that a new AI tax strategy tool may do a better job. Asian stocks are slightly up, even as Japanese markets remain closed today. The government steps up its disinvestment plan. Offer for sale in BHEL opens today. More than 5% government stake likely to be divested for 4,650 crore rupees with a floor price of 254 rupees a share. Offer open for institutional investors. Retail investors can invest tomorrow. Union Home Minister Amit Shah pushes for nationwide adoption of Mule Account Hunter software to combat cyber frauds. Inaugurates CBI Cybercrime branch and calls for strengthening the 1930 helpline for faster response to digital scam complaints. In a move being construed as further relaxation by the White House, the Trump administration has revised its fact sheet on the newly announced trade deal with India. An earlier reference to pulses as one of the products identified for imports into India, an important commodity in India's agricultural import basket, has been dropped. The modified fact sheet also downgrades language from committed to intends for the $500 billion of purchases by India. The changes come amid heightened scrutiny of the interim trade framework, which aims to deepen economic ties and reduce tariffs between the two nations. Karishma, clearly we're seeing a lot of progress on the trade deal and a clear commitment coming in from the US.
Well, Abha, clearly, like you also mentioned, they've smoothened the language. The tone of the fact sheet now has been revised, and that's come in just, say, in about a period of 3 days. On Saturday, we were given the first fact sheet at midnight of Saturday around Sunday, and now this is the second fact sheet. Now, let's look at the first element, which talks about certain pulses. To give some data and numbers, India actually imports the least from US in the top 3. It, in fact, imports more pulses from Canada and Australia at a value of about close to, say, $500 million. Totally, we import about close to, say, $56 billion at an average. Now, second most important is this stance shifting from commitment to that of intent. Again, I think that comes in the background scrutiny of how there was some criticism on the fact that the US has been stringent and tough with India on the whole Russian oil element. And I think that is why the terminology is now being smoothened to give it a more fair, balanced and a cooperative tone of mechanism.
All right, fantastic. Karishma, thanks for talking us through that. And of course, we'll keep on top of this story as it develops. Karishma tracking this in detail on ground. Let's take a look at precious metals. They continue to edge a little higher. Just want to touch upon that before opening because MCX silver has jumped 7,000 kilos and it's at 2.59 lakhs per kilo, and MCX gold is up 2,000 now at 1.58 lakhs per 10 grams. So MCX gold has actually been sneaking up. Silver has been volatile. It's now jumped 7,000 rupees per kilo and it's back at about 2.59 lakhs per kilo right now. So precious metals continuing to edge higher there this morning. Joining us on the show, we've got Shailendra Bhatnagar, as always. Sharad Awasthi also joining us, Head of Research, BCG Smiths. Good morning, gentlemen. Sharad, let me come to you first. What's the setup looking like today? What are the factors that you're going to be tracking as we head into trade?
Yeah, I think the positive development coming out of the US is something that we are looking at. I think gradually more and more contours of the deal are coming out, and they seem to suggest that it is probably a good deal for India. And then we are expecting this nervousness that has been lying around, with the deal. I think that should die down substantially. And quarterly numbers largely have been good. So I think the mid cap, small cap part of the basket has been doing very well, outperforming in terms of profit growth, etc. So we are expecting a strong move in mid cap, small caps over the next 6 to 7 months.
All right, so sounding positive there. Remember, earnings will continue to be in focus too. Britannia has seen a really good set of numbers, so keep an eye on that one. We're watching out for that. Nifty is looking positive in pre-open, so we've inched close to the 26,000 mark. BHEL will also be in focus on that rights issue, as we mentioned at the start of the show. Grasim, Titan, Eicher, some of the other names in focus on the back of earnings. That's BHEL for you, down about 5%. That's on the back of the OFS, pardon me, with the option to sell an additional 2% as well. Retail investors will be able to tap into that tomorrow. So that's BHEL for you. Let's take a look at the opening ticks on your screen right now. Marginal uptick on opening. We're seeing just about a 40 odd points there right on opening ticks. 25966. We're looking at 26,000 on the index this morning. Nifty Bank is flat to negative right now. Let's pull up some of those movers as well as the key stocks and news and take a look at where the action is this morning. Let's take a look at Britannia, for example. The auto index is up about 0.6%. I'm sure Eicher is looking good post earnings. There you have it, 4% on an Eicher. That's where the action is this morning. Remember, this is already a market favorite, 3.5% high. 7566 is where Eicher's trading right now. I'll come back and talk to Sharad in a moment. But just wondering how much further this stock has room on the upside given the phenomenal valuations it's looking at currently. Power Grid, Zomato, Grasim, some of the other gainers for you there. Let's pull up some of the other stocks in focus. Britannia, Grasim, see if they're reacting to earnings and news triggers as well. On the downside, Hero is taking a knock today. So complete contrast in the auto pack. That's probably keeping some pressure on the auto index as well. Britannia is up 4%, solid set of numbers, profit up 17%, margin improvement also coming in there for Britannia. So it's looking incredibly strong today. And Titan is up a good steady 2% as well. Shell, what are you picking up on opening ticks?
Abha, I'm looking at Apollo Hospitals. Again, earnings led. HEG Limited, this is the graphite electrode maker, in strength. In fact, if you look at the top traded counters by value, you have a lot of momentum coming into Eicher. 108 crores already traded, now 112. What's in strength is Britannia, which you've already marked. Motherson Sumi is doing very well from the auto ancillary space, 3.5% higher. And in terms of new highs, Titan is something that we've been following post the silver and gold rally. You have a strong move coming into Edelweiss, 1.3% higher. These are 52-week high, all-time highs. And I want you to keep an eye out on Bharat Forge. This is a defense play now, doing pretty well. You have a strength coming in at 1617, a fresh high for Bharat Forge.
Great. We've got a few other names as well. I think an HEG is moving. We've got Apollo Hospitals up about 4% as well. So keep an eye on that one. I think we were just showing it on your screens. And now we've got a Max Healthcare that's moving, Apollo Hospitals. So some of these stocks are looking good as well. HEG is up about 3% today. So a couple of these names that are on top of the charts. Advanced decline ratio is looking good as well right now and steady in opening trade. Just want to go across to Sharad on Eicher again. Let's pull up Eicher for you, because a good, strong move that's coming in on Eicher Motors. Sharad, given where the stock is already trading, remember it's a market favorite already. 5% now, 7,682 for an Eicher Motors. How would you advise investors to look at this stock? How much further do you see it going?
Yeah, I think continue holding, maybe not market outperformance, but even if you look at forward numbers, I think next year what are we expecting? 230 kind of earnings. 35, 36 kind of multiples should not be very difficult for the company. So I think we are looking at targets of around 8,000, though it is a year down the line. But if the numbers keep improving the way we have seen in this quarter, then there is high probability that you would see that ramp up happen much faster. And since they are bullish in markets, I think one can continue to hold for targets of around 8,000, 8,100 over the next, 8 to 12 months.
Okay, great. Just want to recap what's happening on Eicher there. Net profit, revenue growth, everything. In fact, it's looking really good. 21% rise in consolidated net profit in December. Strong sales of the Royal Enfield. So net profit was at 1,421 crores versus 1,171. There was a one-time charge related to new labor codes that came into effect of November. That was about 55 crore. And overall sales were up 21%. Robust demand in the domestic market. Sales increased 24% year on year, led by models such as the Hunter and the Meteor. And revenue from ops was also up about 23% to 6,114 crore rupees. So that's Eicher Motors for you. Strong set of numbers coming in there and a 12% uptick in 3 months. All right. In a major push against cybercrime, Home Minister Amit Shah has called for nationwide adoption of the Mule Account Hunter software to crack down on digital fraud. He also inaugurated the CBI's new cybercrime branch and stressed faster response to the 1930 helpline. Listen in.
गृह विभाग और रिजर्व बैंक ने मिलकर म्यूल अकाउंट हंटर का जो सॉफ्टवेयर बनाया है वो सारे बैंक, प्राइवेट बैंक हो, अंडरटेकिंग्स हो या कोऑपरेटिव बैंक्स हो, सबने एडॉप्ट कर कर अपने सारे बैंक अकाउंट को इससे क्लियर कर लेना चाहिए। हम जब तक ये नहीं करते हैं तब तक हम कस्टमर को बचाने का प्रयास, उपभोक्ताओं को बचाने का प्रयास पूर्णतया नहीं कर सकते।
All right. In a major tech policy shift, the government has tightened regulations for AI-generated and synthetic content, bringing it explicitly under the information technology rules. The new amendments, notified yesterday and effective from the 20th of February, mandate clear labels and permanent metadata on AI-created material to ensure transparency and accountability. Online platforms must now act faster on flagged unlawful content, with takedown timelines cut to as short as 3 hours, and deploy tools to verify user declarations of AI use. The move aims to curb deepfakes, misinformation and harmful synthetic media, while holding social media intermediaries to stricter compliance standards. Let's go across to Aishwarya Patil on this. Aishwarya, what brought about this move by the government? Where are they looking to really maximize the kind of governance that they've talked about here?
Well, some of it you have already mentioned, but the Ministry of IT, MIT has said that there is a new AI governance framework that has been put in place. Now, of course, using AI does pose a lot of risk, and hence, to counter and mitigate deep fakes and some of these impersonations or sexually explicit content that has been created by AI in the past, like Grok, for example, you would have seen. To counter all of these, platforms have been mandated to have a quick fix or a report button going forward, so that these can be reported immediately. And like you rightly mentioned, in order to counter these risks, this should be fixed within just a couple of hours, 3 to 6 hours. Even for social media platforms like WhatsApp, etc., this must be fixed within 6 hours is what this particular mandate says. There should also be clear labels on any AI-generated content, any images or videos as well, so that you can identify them. Because this, of course, can pose some sort of risk. Deep fakes in the past, as we've seen during very crisis kind of kind of events, or that could pose a risk as far as this public dissemination is concerned. So these are some of the changes that have been made by this particular act that MIT has set up as far as AI governance guidelines.
All right, Aishwarya, thanks so much for joining us with that. Lots of earnings to track this morning. We've got Torrent Power also pat up 35%. The stock is actually not reacting so well to those numbers. Let me just bring that up for you. Torrent Power, bring that up for you on your screen in just a moment. Let's also talk about Britannia. Sharad, let's come to you on Britannia. Numbers looking good, 17% year on year. On PAT, 680 crore is what the company's reported. How are you looking at a Britannia? It's up 4% today.
Yeah, I think it's a decent set of numbers, and the type of diversification they are doing that should help them. And I think the raw material side pressure that has been plaguing them for some time, I think that's stabilized now. So there is high probability that this was GST cut and urban consumption coming back. Most probably, Britannia numbers could outperform on the upside. Obviously, a very strong brand. But I think you should have a staggered approach to buy it at these levels, because in terms of valuation, the whole FMCG pack, barring maybe a Jyoti Labs or an ITC, the rest of the pack seems a bit tad expensive in terms of valuation. So that's the only flip side. But obviously, a strong brand, we expect quarterly numbers to improve based on lower raw material prices, etc. So I think generally the numbers should be good, but I think the valuations are a bit high. So have a staggered approach, buy on dips. That should be the strategy for Britannia.
All right, that's on Britannia. Now, BHEL, remember, they've got a 2,800 crore rupee order. That's news for the counter, but the OFS is starting at 254 as a floor price today, and retail investors kick off their window tomorrow. The stock is down 5% though. That's the trigger on a BHEL. Share, let me come to you. We've got a BHEL that's down 5%. We've got a whole host of stocks in the broader markets that are seeing some amount of traction today. And Hero perhaps seeing some profit booking. So while Eicher is clearly the star, Hero is on a bit of a downtick today.
That's true, Abha. It's just the circulation of money that's going in. I would rather focus on strong stocks which are showing signs of a bit of weakness, which is profit booking. It is the fresh start of a weekly settlement on the Nifty. Tomorrow we have the weekly settlement of the Sensex. So the market is in a bit of a cleft. We've had 4 days of strong growth on the Nifty, and this is a time for pause at around 26,000. So it's the options trade which is active, options sellers working around 26,000, whereas bulls trying to take a grip of it. Apollo Hospitals was beaten down very, very sharply. So that is something that you can look forward to. And of course, momentum strong on BSE, on Eicher Motors, and in particular, you have strength coming back into Naveen Fluorine. So either chase momentum on breakouts or buy the dip in strong stocks.
All right, we've got UB also reporting earnings. Let's just take a look at whether or not it's reacting. It's beaten estimates. So United Breweries, let's just take a look at where it's at. And Tata Motors CV, I think that's also just on order buzz. Indonesia order for 70,000 CVs, and that's why there's a slight uptick in that one. Not too much of a move on UB, and let's pull up Tata Motors CV for you as well. That's the other one that's in focus on the back of news today. Sharad, as we were discussing, perhaps a good time to get into either beaten down stocks on verge of a breakout or then strong counters. When we're talking about strong counters, for example, we've continuously seen some kind of an uptick on something like a Titan, given the way precious metal prices have been moving. Where are you looking in the market?
I think one quarterly number that has come out that has finally worked in our favor is TVS Supply, a small cap company, but it's obviously a strong group, world leader. So I think that is something that looks interesting to us. Even the quarterly numbers, the strategy, one plus, etc., whatever they were doing for cost reduction, I think that's finally playing out. So that is one story we are looking at. Titan, yeah, again, see, I'm not very bullish on gold from here on. So maybe not much would come into Titan with respect to valuation improvement. And most of the jewelry stocks, if you look at them, they are already trading at rich valuations. Maybe something like a PN Gadgil is not there. But rest of the pack, I think mostly stocks are trading at premium valuations, not leaving much on the table. So we are not looking too much into Titan right now. But I think, yeah, within the large cap stories, I think IT could be a good contra bet you could look at. That's one space that we are thinking that because of this uncertainty around AI, most IT stocks have become attractive. Scient is something I've been advocating, but even the frontline TCS, Infosys at these valuations seem like very good contra bets at these valuations.
All right, great. Sharad, Shell, thanks so much for joining us. Keep an eye on IT if you're looking for a contra bet. That's the advice coming in from Sharad and a few other mid-cap or small-cap picks that he suggested. Grow is moving higher this morning. Keep an eye on that one. They've added a whole bunch of subscribers, 3.5 lakh stock market users in the month of January. So that one's up about 2% as well. We'll leave it there for now. We'll be back at 3 p.m. to talk you through market closing. Thanks for watching.